Hey everyone, and welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Always ready to jump down a rabbit hole. What do we have today?
Well, we're tackling Project Serpo. You know, that alleged top-secret exchange program between the U.S. government and aliens from Serpo.
Ah, yes, Project Serpo, the one that reads like a sci-fi novel someone accidentally left in a government archive.
Exactly. We're talking crash landings, an alien survivor who learns English, a whole team of specialists going on a 10-year mission to this planet, Serpo.
It's a wild one for sure, but is there anything to it or is it just another elaborate hoax?
Well, that's what we're here to figure out. We've got this leaked 3,000-page document detailing the whole thing, and believe me, it's a doozy.
3,000 pages. Someone had a lot of time on their hands, or a very active imagination.
Right. Okay, so let's start with the crash landings. The document claims there were two alien spacecraft that went down near Roswell in '47.
Roswell, of course. Gotta tie it into the most famous alleged UFO incident.
And get this, one of the crafts had a survivor. They called him EB-1.
EB1. I wonder if he got a frequent flyer card for that trip. And how convenient that he just happened to pick up English.
Right. Talk about a quick learner. But it gets weirder. The document says EB-1 came from a star system called Zeta Reticuli.
Wait, Zeta Reticuli, isn't that the same star system mentioned in those alien interview transcripts we talked about before?
You got it. It's almost like whoever wrote this was trying to connect all the dots a little too neatly.
Like they had a conspiracy theory bingo card they were trying to fill out.
Exactly. Okay, so let's move on to Serpo itself. The description of this planet is just wild. No nighttime, scorching temperatures over 100 degrees, water only found underground.
Sounds delightful. Like a desert vacation gone wrong.
And they have this strict vegetarian diet. Their population is strictly controlled at 650,000. I mean, how do they even manage that?
Maybe they have some kind of intergalactic version of Planned Parenthood. Sorry, folks, we've reached our population quota for this millennium. Better luck next time.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to live under those conditions.
Hmm.
But that's where this exchange program comes in. They picked 12 U.S. military personnel to go to Serpo for 10 years.
12 specialists, all orphans or single with no close ties, like they were handpicked to just disappear.
Right. Almost like they were chosen because they wouldn't be missed. But what were they doing there for a whole decade? That part's a bit vague.
Well, the document does mention it took 9 months to travel each way.
9 months. Each way. Talk about a long commute.
And they apparently packed 10 years worth of food. Imagine the luggage. You'd need a whole spaceship just for snacks.
Okay, so they've got their 10 years worth of rations packed. They're hurtling through space for 9 months. What could possibly go wrong?
Well, for starters, not all of them made it back. 4 of the team members died or disappeared.
Died or disappeared. That's ominous. Maybe they decided to open an intergalactic bed and breakfast and just never came back.
Maybe they found a better life on Serpo. Or maybe something more sinister happened. Who knows?
That's the thing with this whole Project Serpo story, isn't it? It's like peeling back layers of an onion, and each layer just gets weirder and weirder.
Back again for more Project Serpo. Where do we even go from here?
Right. It's like a roller coaster of strangeness. But speaking of strange, the document goes into detail about Serpoian tech. Apparently, everything runs on various forms of electricity, even generating it from a vacuum.
Now that's just showing off. You think with their advanced tech, they'd at least share some energy-saving tips.
Right. Help us out with the climate crisis and all. But no, they're over there powering their spaceships with vacuums.
Well, maybe that's why the U.S. government was so keen on this exchange program. Industrial espionage, perhaps. Sneaking a peek at the alien tech.
Now that's a conspiracy theory I can get behind. Trading soldiers for tech secrets?
Operation Steal the Vacuum-Powered UFO. Has a nice ring to it.
I'd watch that movie. Okay, but there's more. The document also mentions their music. It was just pure rhythm, no melody at all.
Just a constant beat. Sounds like a nightmare to me.
Maybe they were into techno way before it was cool. Serpoian raves must have been something else.
Just a bunch of aliens bobbing their heads to a never-ending bass line.
You know, the more we delve into this, the less sure I am if this document is a genuine leak or just someone messing with us.
It wouldn't be the first time someone tried to pull a fast one on the public. Remember that whole Orson Welles War of the Worlds incident?
Oh yeah, people thought aliens were actually invading.
Exactly. So maybe this whole Project Serpo thing is just an elaborate hoax. A cosmic tall tale.
Well, there is that theory that it was a Cold War disinformation campaign.
Yeah.
You know, the U.S. government trying to mislead the Soviets.
Ah, yes, the classic blame it on the Cold War explanation. But why go through all the trouble of creating this elaborate story?
Maybe they wanted to make the Soviets think we had alien tech on our side. You know, scare them a bit.
Psychological warfare with a sci-fi twist. I guess it could work.
Or maybe it was just a way to distract them, make them waste resources chasing shadows.
It wouldn't be the first time governments played mind games with each other. But here's the thing. Why release it decades later? Wouldn't that defeat the purpose of disinformation?
Unless it was an accidental leak? Someone stumbled upon this file in a dusty basement somewhere and thought, hey, the world needs to see this,
Or maybe someone with a sense of humor decided to let the cat out of the bag.
just to watch the chaos unfold. I could see that.
Right. Cosmic prank of epic proportions.
But there is one detail that doesn't quite fit with the Cold War theory. The document mentions the last Serpo visitor dying in 2002. And James Tippett, the science fiction writer who, some people believe, might have been involved in creating this story. She died in 1987.
Yeah, that throws a wrench in things, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So either someone added that detail later
Or this whole thing is actually real.
Now, wouldn't that be a twist?
Hmm.
All right, we spent 2 parts now going over Project Serpo. Where does that leave us?
Right? It's a wild story. But I think even if it's not real, even if it's just a hoax or a story, it tells us something about ourselves. You know, why are we so fascinated by this kind of stuff? Aliens, secret government programs.
It's the mystery, isn't it? The possibility of something beyond what we know. The idea that we might not be alone in the universe. It's exciting.
It makes you think, right? What if there really is something out there? Something we haven't discovered yet.
It's a big universe, plenty of room for surprises.
And you know, part of it is just the fun of it. It's a good story. Like what's that word? A page turner.
Yeah, it's got all the elements of a great sci-fi story. The mystery, the danger, the strange new world.
The questionable science. I mean, come on. Generating electricity from a vacuum. Really?
Yeah, some of it's a little hard to swallow, but that's part of the fun, isn't it? Suspending your disbelief a little bit?
Sure, but if we're talking about suspending disbelief, how about the idea that these Serpoians, these super advanced aliens, would fall for a Cold War disinformation campaign?
Right, that's a bit of a stretch. You'd think they'd have some kind of alien lie detector or something.
Or maybe they just have a really good sense of humor. Like they're sitting there on Serpo reading this leaked document and having a good chuckle.
Maybe they find us amusing, like watching a bunch of ants running around in a frenzy.
Okay, but even if this is all made up, it does raise some real questions. Like, if we ever did encounter an alien civilization, how would we communicate? How would we even begin to understand each other?
That's the big question, isn't it? We can barely understand each other here on Earth sometimes. Imagine trying to communicate with a species from a completely different planet.
Different languages, different cultures, different ways of thinking. It would be a huge challenge.
We might need more than just a universal translator. We'd need a universal understanding.
And maybe that's the real takeaway from all this. Even if Project Serpo is just a story, maybe it's a reminder that we need to be a little more open-minded, a little more willing to consider the possibility of things we don't understand.
And maybe a little more humble. We might not be the center of the universe after all.
So there you have it, folks. Project Serpo. Fact, fiction, or cosmic joke, we may never know for sure, but it's definitely a story that makes you think. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive. Until next time, keep looking up.